happening, fight fans? It's an all-new year, which means all new matchups to get you hyped up for the UFC. Tune into the fights this weekend, and don't forget, get in on all the action with my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. They're offering all new customers $200 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5. So don't wait. Download the DraftKings app right now. Sign up using the code SONNEN. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Staying on the action and use your $200 in bonus bets for DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same game. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered with live markets, like Fight to Go the Distance, which makes watching the action that much more exciting. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy with a shot at even bigger prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use my promo code SONNEN. Get $200 in bonus bets for any $5 wager. That's promo code SONNEN, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. What is the power of a team, and is it possible? Think about it from those perspectives. I know your entire life, whether it was the football coach or the basketball coach or the current CEO of the company you work for, I know they will all sit you down and talk about team. But is it possible? Is it real? Because we don't have it. No matter how much you talk about it, we don't have it. Nick Saban gave a speech the other day, and it was on team, and somebody tweeted out, so this is why he's the greatest coach in the world. And I appreciate it. That's a nice thing to say about Nick Saban. If Nick would be honest, which is everybody here was bribed to be here. There's a massive difference in teaching somebody a sport and coaching a sport. There's a massive difference in training for a sport and practicing a sport. And I do not have a goal to give Nick Saban a hard time. I'm just sharing with you. He knows the secret, which is the things he's coming out and saying are not slightly true. They just sound good. He did not teach a single one of those young men how to play football, which is the hardest thing you can do. It would easily be the most important thing that you can do. That comes in the youth. That comes in a youth coach and a club coach and a little league and a K9 and a peewee and all the different things that we have around the country. The last guy that's ever going to get a camera or an interview is the coach that did the hardest part, which is to get a kid started, keep a kid motivated, and teach him the rules of the game. And that's before you even get to the strategies and the techniques, which are less important than finding a body, getting him started, and having him come back tomorrow. And I get that there won't be any interview there, but I can't help to watch Nick Saban's interview and just sit back and go, wow, what a great performer, because he's not foolish enough to believe that it's true. It sounds good, but it is nothing more than a manipulation to get more talent from more communities passed off to you by coaches who did the actual job of finding the kid, teaching him the rules of the game, having him come back tomorrow. And when I watched Saban's interview and I watched the people that were just gushing, and I got to work with them. Believe me, I work with them every day. I see him on campus in Bristol, and it's the smartest guy in the room about some sport until you question if he's ever done the sport. And I'm speaking to you from the perspective that there is no team. We've never seen it. The Lakers have won championships, then wanted to call each other a team, but I don't know why. They weren't. I come from amateur wrestling, which is pretty close to a team, right? You don't have anything else. You don't have funding. You don't have a lot of opportunities. It's pretty close to a team. But the truth is, once a year and once every 4 years, we hold a trials to pick our world and Olympic team. And then we try to convince them full of energy that you guys are a team, as opposed to we're sending you guys in matching singlets and t-shirts to take on everybody in the world, which is the truth. Your teammates aren't here because look left and look right. Somebody there beat your actual teammates. So now you guys are going. But I don't know why we would fill them full of energy about a team, because it doesn't make a damn bit of difference. There's never been a point scored because an emotion that you had from your team. Whether they were cheering or they were booing, or these guys were dedicated and serious, whether they all love the GOD or they all love to party, it's not a bit of difference. That guy being at that party has never cost anybody a point. That guy getting the ball over the line never happened, whether guys went to the party or they were on the field with him or were dedicated. You're not actually a team. In fact, you don't even have to like each other. In fact, I've got the checkbook and I'm going to bring in 80 of you. And you 80 will shift out the moment I can find 80 others to replace you, or you run out of eligibility. But there is no team. And there's not an example that you have out there. That includes in business with your bosses. That entire speech about hoorah team is a way to keep the talent that you have collected. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just sharing the truth with you. The Yankees and the Mets and the Celtics and the 49ers and the Denver Broncos, these are not real teams. These are guys who had skills that were purchased and agreed to wear matching laundry. And I don't have a goal here of telling you that team isn't real. It's great to be part of something. It's great to have that feeling of team and camaraderie, and some people can compare it to a fraternity. These are very important things in life. But we haven't actually seen it to observe it. You don't have an example that you could bring forward to counter what I just said. And wouldn't it be nice if you did? How cool would that be? I'm out here in Oregon. The Oregon Ducks, they went off and they were as close as they've been to winning a national championship. They've been in the national finals game before. They actually lost to Ohio State, the team that knocked them out this year, just to share my football knowledge. But it was their only loss, and they were ranked number 1. And they got as close as you can get. And the school is located in Eugene, Oregon. And on that entire team, that entire starting team that played in the Rose Bowl and got on the field and went when the whistle and blocked this guy and passed to this guy, not one of them is from Eugene. Wouldn't it be interesting if there was? So, we don't have anybody from the city, anybody in the proximity. How far can we go out? And they did have people from the state. There was people from Oregon on the team, so I suppose that's helpful. But wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be something if we actually, as Oregon, took our people, the people that we recruited, that we motivated, that we taught the game to, and most importantly, that we convinced at an early age to come back tomorrow, try again. Wouldn't that be interesting, though? And then we took on a team from Chicago that did the same thing. And we took on a team from Los Angeles. We took on a team from Denver, and a team from Seattle, and a team from New England. I'm just suggesting for you. Wouldn't that be interesting? Because we have no idea what would actually happen. It's never been tried. There is no team anywhere. There is business. And there are people that for a price will wear similar laundry to somebody else that also got brought in purely for business. And with all of that said, if you scoured the world, if you scoured the great companies, Microsoft is up the road in Seattle. Believe me, not only people from Seattle work for Microsoft. But just to use that as an example, if you scoured the world, including businesses, could you find an exception to what I'm telling you, which is there's no such thing as team? Because there is one. There's one that I've ever heard of. And that is Khabib's team. That is an actual team who, without knowing the rules of a game or what it would take to be good, because of pure proximity to where they lived, they could get to a mutual meeting ground known as the gym. And when they got there, somebody would teach them something. and most importantly, motivate them enough to come back tomorrow and do the process again. But it is the only team on the face of the earth. And the head coach of that team, Khabib, is the first to tell you, I don't enjoy this. As an athlete, I stopped doing this. There was millions of dollars and fame, and he cut the line at the local strip club, right? Like everything that any young man could ever dream of was there, and I gave it back. And now, speaking of giving back, I'm going to see out this crop of athletes that I have. This group that came up through my time, I'm going to coach and serve them until they are done, and then I am done. But it's a very fascinating concept because plenty of other coaches have made that statement. Plenty of other coaches have stepped down or been asked to step down after they turn things around or because they failed to turn things around, but they never did it with an actual team. Teaching somebody and training somebody is very different. Going to practice and having a workout are very different. And anywhere in the world, I would love if you offered me an example and told me I was wrong. Anywhere in the world that there's an actual team. People that are there because they want to be there. They have some kind of a code and proximity of where they happen to be born, where their mom and dad happen to move and live and put down roots, is the number one fundamental as to why they are in the practice facility, in the training facility, and representing the team and walking around wearing the name on their t-shirt and having pride. Not a paycheck, not a recruitment, not let some other coach build you and me get credit for you. An actual team. Nobody's ever tried this. It shouldn't be a foreign concept. Nobody's actually tried to have a team. Everybody's did what Saban did, which is to find somebody else's team and take them. And that became the rules of the game. I don't begrudge it. It's just not real when Nick Saban said it. It's not real when any of the coaches say it. But there is one team, if you search the world over, by the way, it turned out to be the best. So how do you account for that? Are they the best and they happen to be a real team? Or is it because they're a real team that they happen to be the best? That's the way Saban tells the story. That's the way Saban would like the story to be believed. But aside from Khabib and his team, there's nowhere in the world that it's true.